Okay, let's get to our midseason ACC awards. We're going to talk offensive player, defensive player, transfer, freshman, coach. All right, where we're at for midseason. Mac, let's start with you. Who is your pick at this point for the ACC Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, this is so funny, and I didn't want to flame us and put up what we thought preseason because it's
Oh,
very wrong. Very wrong. And there's one team responsible for that, why it's so wrong. And we don't need to point any fingers or call anybody out, but you know who you are. And this is also something I go back and forth about because is it a statistic award? Is it, the best quarterback on the best team award? Is it the most exciting player, whoever you think that might be award? And it's hard for me to say there's a better offensive player right now than Darian Mensah at Duke. Like, that dude is balling. He is throwing the ball at such a high clip, pushing it downfield, scoring a bunch of points, and he's having this run game emerge behind him, which I think's opening everything else up. It makes me very excited, just to see what could this offense continue to look like as we get wide receivers keep doing their thing. Darian gets more comfortable in the offense. I think if he can get the run game himself going a little bit more, then you're talking about like untouchable. Maybe he's the player of the year at the end of the
ooh,
season for Duke there.
interesting. Okay, Mac. I did not have Mensa. I have him for a different award on this
Okay.
list. I think
Okay.
that one's pretty obvious. I have Carson Beck. And, that may be, okay, that's the basic answer, but I do tend to lean, and I do this also when I vote for basketball stuff. I tend to lean best player on the best team.
Mm-hmm.
And now you could argue he's not the best player on Miami. I get that. And Ruben Bain, you got Malachi Toney, you've got so many weapons, but he is the quarterback. We know how important quarterbacks are. He orchestrates the offense. His numbers are fantastic. He's second in the ACC in quarterback rating. He's not turning the ball over. And, he's been a big difference for them and
Yeah.
why Miami looks so complete. And I'm leaning that way because he is the best player on the team that we think is the best team in the country.
Yeah.
So right now I'm going Carson Beck. I know his stats may not be super gaudy, but I think that's where I'm going right now, Mac.
Yeah. No, and I think that's a great pick. I think it's a great pick. It's just hard for me to overlook 70% completion rating,
Well,
almost
and here's the thing.
2,000 yards passing, 15 touchdowns to 2 picks. I tried to go Carson, but I do think Carson is the best quarterback in the country. But just when I'm talking about awards, stats, I need it all. Darian's just balling.
Well, and here's the question. Is it an ACC award in that it's just ACC play? Because Darian's been fantastic in ACC play. Their 2 losses were not in ACC play.
Good point.
And then when you push it forward too, if Duke ends up in Charlotte, then
Winner gets the trophy.
yeah, that. Or just you look at the play, and of course Duke has talent, but you look at the skill players Mensah has versus the skill players Carson Beck has, and maybe you give Mensah the nod. But
Mhm.
I think that's interesting, Mike. That's very good. I'm
Yeah.
I, I'm
I
a
think we're
little
gonna
surprised.
I think we're gonna flip here in a
Did
couple seconds.
did you consider Haynes King
Um, Not
just because
really.
Georgia Tech undefeated and what he
Yeah.
means to that team?
No, but I do think
Okay.
that's a good pick. He's the grittiest dude. If we had a too gritty to be pretty trophy, yeah, he's got it. He's got it locked up.
See, if you're that gritty, you don't even want a trophy. You're too gritty
That's
for
right. He doesn't
trophy.
want that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
don't want
doesn't
that.
want that.
Okay. I think this one is obvious, but we'll see where you go. ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Is it obvious because it's Ruben Bain? Like,
Yeah.
is that why it's
Yeah.
obvious? I mean, this
Yeah.
guy, and again, you want to talk about stats, and maybe I'm being hypocritical and two-faced right now. He does not have, the crazy stats in regards of looking at the gaudy tackle numbers or the sacks or the tackles for loss. I'm pulling up his tackles for loss, or excuse me, his sacks right now. He's not in the top a lot. He's not in the top anything. So it's one of those things where it's more of he impacts the game
Yeah.
so much. Like it's crazy to see how he does it, how he lines up, getting people in the right position, different defensive linemen, but also forcing you to adjust. Like he's going to make you do something else that you don't want to do, and gets in the backfield, gets a ton of pressures, plays the run as good as any defender in the country. So yeah, right now for me, it's Ruben Bain for sure.
I think this is one where we have to be smart and understand when you watch Miami and you watch the impact Bain has. It's obvious. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't have the gaudy numbers quite yet. Maybe those will come, but this one was the easiest one. Well, I don't know. Freshman was pretty easy. But Ruben Bain, ACC Defensive Player of the Year at this point. Oh, you have someone else.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I'm very
We'll see.
intrigued.
I don't know. Maybe it was.
All right. Transfer Player of the Year. Where are
Yeah.
you at here?
This is where I think we flip because I am going Carson Beck here. And
Oh,
maybe it's because I already gave, Mensa the one.
interesting.
I want to split it. So I'm going Carson Beck here. Um, I think he's changed Miami. I think there was a lot of kind of question marks. What's next after Cam Ward? And for them to go and do that and get that guy, secure that guy, that's a huge deal. And every reason you just mentioned of control of the offense. Again, I think he's the best quarterback in the country. What he does, what he means to his team, how he orchestrates it. Give me Carson Beck for transfer. I think he's been tremendous.
This is so funny because I have Darian Mensah
That's what I
for
thought. I thought
Duke.
we'd flip flop here.
And I mean, Mensah's numbers are just insane. And I have him for transfer, but I think you look at the 2 losses, let's see what what Duke can continue, not that the losses were necessarily on him, but what Duke can continue to do. If they end up 7-1 or something crazy like that
Yeah.
in the league, then let's talk. But I think it's funny that you say Beck's the best quarterback in the country, but he's not your offensive player of the year.
I think there's different things to
I know. It's so
being
subjective.
it's just sexy, right? Like I want the numbers, I want the stats,
Sure.
but if I'm taking a quarterback to surround my team with, I'm probably taking back.
Exactly. Okay, ACC freshman of the year to this point.
I want you to go first here because you said it was super easy, and I'm sure we have the same one, but I want you to go.
Malachi Tony
Yeah, there
from
we go.
Miami.
This is the Hurricane team. It went
I
from preseason
mean,
and went to Clemson team. Now it's the Hurricane team.
I didn't really feel like it was close. There are other freshmen who have had big impacts so far, but nothing like Malachi Tony.
Yeah.
He's opened up that playbook for Miami. He's so explosive. He's made them so explosive. And
Mhm.
that was our concern for Miami was can they be as explosive without Cam Ward?
Yeah.
And then Malachi Tony walks on campus. And by the
Right.
way, didn't he like just turn 18? He really should be the ACC high school senior of the year at this point.
That's right. I'm with you. I don't know if when you said clear runaway option, I was a little hesitant just because I didn't know where you're gonna. I didn't know if you were gonna go Sangapolatele out at
Sure.
Cal, which obviously being a starting quarterback at freshman as a freshman is very impressive. He's third in the ACC in passing yards, and really I've been very impressed with Nate Shepard from Duke,
Yeah.
true freshman running back. He's third in the conference for rushing yards. He's been electric when you see the things there. So I just think those 2 guys will get some real consideration as well if they continue and if Tony obviously continues to address the game. But I'm right there with you with Malachi. He is so poised, so mature, and just like ready for the moment. And it's so funny. Like we heard the nickname, Baby Jesus. We've heard that he's
Sure.
been called that literally since like he could walk. Like he's just been deemed that, and he's had that pressure of his neighborhood, of his community, of his teammates, family, whatever, forever. And he just gets to college. It's like, yeah, that's just what I do. That's
Yeah.
what I do. And Carson trusts him. He's going to throw it up to him, allow him to make plays. He has been tremendous. So he's my winner for that as well so far.
And it's not like, sometimes you see freshmen rack up numbers against some lower level teams. That hasn't been the case with Malachi Tony.
Yeah, he's just the guy. He's the guy.
He's been balling out against the best teams that Miami's played. Okay, Mac, ACC Coach of the Year. Now
Man.
be careful here because you kind of got in trouble with a certain coach picking against Miami and a coach that I think is probably the ACC Coach of the Year at this point.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, here's the interesting thing with me with this
Oh,
award
you're gonna
too.
get in trouble. You're gonna get in
I'm gonna
trouble
get in
again,
trouble.
Mac.
Don't listen. Turn it off. Here's my thing. I it's like it's such an interesting award, and all
Yeah.
these you can manipulate them however you want, and look at them however you want. And it's like, okay, if I expected you to be this good at this point, and you are this good at this point, you did your job. Good job. Congrats. I don't think you
Mhm.
deserve any huge praise or awards or anything of that nature. And so when you surprise me and you're doing better than maybe I thought, then you get celebrated. Then it's like, oh, hey, look what this guy's doing. So let me just tell you the names that I think are no brainer: Mario Cristobal, Coach Key,
Mhm.
Manny Diaz. But my winner's Tony Elliott. This guy's killing it, balling,
Okay.
got this team going, top 10 win at your house, first time in a billion years. Go on the road the next week and beat a very good Louisville team. And they're doing it different ways too, like a bunch of different ways. And they don't have the best roster in college football. They do have some money, apparently, allegedly, to go and spend and do all these things. You don't have the historical pedigree, the brand. You're building all that, right? You're trying to solidify all that, right now. And administration's doing a great job helping you. These coaches doing a great job evaluation, getting guys in and coaching on the field. So give me Coach E right now as my midseason award winner.
Okay, that's a good one. I understand picking Coach E. By the way, something that Mac and I have been meaning to kind of talk about. Virginia does have money. There are some interesting articles out there talking about donors and, maybe a little 20 million influx into that program. But you got to spend the money the right way. And Tony Elliott did, obviously, and he's done a fantastic job. I think it's interesting. I think you and I just look at these awards a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
I lean towards best team, and I want to reward the best team and their players and their coaches. I think Mario Cristobal is the coach of the year.
Yeah.
We did not think Miami would be this good. Best team in the country. I mean, Clemson was the preseason.
You're right.
And Miami is without a doubt the best team in the ACC, and I think the best team in the country. And you lose the number 1 overall pick. Like, yes, Miami has money to go get guys. They obviously did great in the portal. They still recruit so well at the high school ranks. But you lose the number 1 overall pick, and you're better.
Yeah.
That's coaching.
Yeah.
And right now,
come on,
it's Mario
Say it
Cristobal.
with your chest. I love that.
I don't know, Mac. If Mario's going to give you a hug next time he sees you, I don't know I'd be worried.
He knows I always want him to just get better. That's what he wants from me. That's what I want from him.
Honestly, Mario's also like Haynes King. He doesn't want a coach of the year trophy.
Doesn't want any accolades. I say they're number 1, and he's like pissed off that I say.
Yeah, he could care less.